All right, so before we get into the report this week, I lost a bet. I've lost it 2 years in a row. I am an Arkansas Razorback. I don't know if you can see my little Razorback right there. I am a Razorback, and for 2 years in a row, I've bet with a buddy of mine's son, who I'm not going to mention his name. I'm sure he'll mention it here in the video. But anyway, 2 years in a row now, my Arkansas Razorbacks have not been able to cover the spread against the Aggies, which is painful. And because of that, I have this incredibly ugly A&M sticker on my boat now again for 6 months. So here's a little video we shot last night, and once we get done with this, we'll get to the fishing report here in just a second. Thanks, guys. Welcome to Ken Smith Fishing World Headquarters here in beautiful Zavala, Texas. Joining me this evening is Brian O'Connor, who used to think he could catch him, and Reed O'Connor, who we're pretty sure will never catch him. However, as everybody knows, I'm a Razorback. Little red sticker there. And everybody knows there's two kind of people. There's people who went to A&M, and then there's Aggies. Unfortunately, that's an Aggie.
Come on.
So 2 years in a row now, I have lost a bet that my Razorbacks cannot beat the Aggies, which is amazing to me because they are awful. All we got to do is cover the spread. 2 years in a row now, the Aggies have not, or the Razorbacks have not covered the spread. So for the second year in a row, I am getting an Aggie sticker that appears to have some pink in it.
Got them a special one this year.
On my windshield. Now, it's supposed to go on there from 6 months. I'm saying 6 months from the date of the game, which is about 4 months ago, so it's probably not going to be on there very long. Last year, right after he put it on there, I did really well in a tournament, and I kind of got a little superstitious about it and stayed on there a while. But he's going to stick it on there now. Hopefully I've got enough bugs on there that it's going to not stick and it's going to blow off. And as I mentioned earlier, he is an Aggie, so there's every chance in the world he doesn't get it stuck on there good and it'll just blow off going down the road. So, Mr. O'Connor, feel free to Aggie up my beautiful Ranger bass boat.
I can't decide which side's going to be better. Which is going to be in the camera more?
Neither.
Neither.
I can assure you.
That's right. You shoot everything towards the front deck.
I do. I shoot, because unlike you, I fish on the front deck.
Oh, okay. See, I just like to ride
Now,
around
don't be covering up a Ranger Cup sticker up there.
I would never do such a thing.
Oh, that's awful.
That's excellent.
No, that's terrible.
That's a good spot right there,
That's
thinking.
terrible. How much money did you spend sending him to A&M?
We don't want to go there. How many boats? How many trucks?
Oh,
how
so
many years?
tell me how good a driver is he at night?
He's pretty good at night. Well, it's during the day he likes to take a nap.
Oh, he napped during the day. And
Yeah,
what'd that cost you? New truck, new boat?
Well, we got by. We were able to salvage the truck and
And
salvage the boat.
Nothing wrong
Just
with
needed
the
a new
boat.
trailer,
New trailer.
which Ranger quit giving away years ago.
Right. Especially the Aggies.
Hey, it's going to be a good-looking sticker.
I hope that thing sticks better than an Arkansas tackle.
Here we go. Let's see what he's got for me. Oh, good Lord.
I'm thinking next year maybe like pink and black zebra.
I tell you, if the
I think that would
Razorbacks
look
win, you're
really
going to have
good.
a big pink Razorback that says, "I'm a Razorback's grandmother," stuck on your boat.
Hey, that'll work
Oh,
for me.
look,
I
he
just
didn't even get it flat on there.
flat enough. I mean, it matches with
So
your
if you
boat,
see me
right?
on the water, I am not an Aggie. It just got stuck on there.
Wishes
So,
it could be. See, the way I read the text message when we made this bet was 6 months. It didn't say the 6 months started the day of the game.
He doesn't read the stuff. He doesn't read all the fine print.
It's pretty black and white. I mean, it's in text. I can post it in the comments of the YouTube video if I need to.
You know what? He's an Aggie. It doesn't matter what's in black and white. It matters what's in the pictures in the book, in the textbook. So
Hey, scoreboard. When's the last time y'all beat us?
this year we're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat them this year.
Y'all
All
got a
right.
new-
So
pretty
for
new
about
Aggie
another
head coach.
2 weeks, that stupid Aggie sticker's gonna be on my boat on there. So
Unless he makes money.
unless I win this weekend, then it'll be on here for 6 months or 8 months or however long it takes. So anyway, there you go. So don't think I'm an Aggie when you see me going down the lake. I am a Razorback, but I got a pink Aggie sticker, which I always thought they were maroon, but I guess it's actually pink. So there you go. God. Hey guys, welcome to KenSmithFishing.com. Again, world headquarters here in Zavala, Texas. Very, very rainy Zavala, Texas. Today's January 27th. Today was supposed to be our BFL tournament, and it was literally pea soup fog all morning. They held us till they were going to let us go if we could go noon or later or earlier, And at noon, Mark McWall, tournament director, called the tournament. I cannot give those guys enough credit. It was not a safe day for us to be out there, and I know their business is running tournaments, but thanks guys. It was not a safe day to be on the water for any of us, so I'm very grateful. Fog scares me more than anything else running on the water, so great call on their part. And also had a lot of guys walk up to me and give me a lot of really positive feedback about my videos. Thanks to all those guys. I really appreciate you guys watching, and it sounds like everybody's enjoying them. Also got some great ideas today for some future videos, not just fishing. So my practice day yesterday was cut short. A friend called me about I don't know, probably 10 or 10:30, and his boat had broke down, and I shot this little piece of video right here. I hope you can hear my commentary.
Well, it happens to all of us. Now, I'm not going to tell you what kind of motor I'm dragging home, but I'm going to lose a little bit of practice time today. But it's happened to all of us, so it happened. I'm glad I was here to get him back. Fishing's been tough so far. Went out deep, not getting many bites, so get this done. It'll be about 12:30 by the time I get him back to his truck. We'll go from there and see what happens. So if you can't have a Mercury yourself, make sure you got a buddy that's got one. He'll show you.
So that cost me about an hour and a half, and once I got back out on the water, I went back out and fished, and frankly didn't have any trolling motor. Well, I take that back. I did fish one spot. I'm really intrigued. I mentioned you guys the other day we caught one nice fish in the last, I'm getting them confused, Bass Hamster Triple T, whichever one was here last weekend. That's sad and can't remember, on Rayburn. But I had gotten that 4-pounder to bite that little DT6, creeping it over the edge of the grass, on the outside edge of the grass. And that really intrigued me, and I threw it quite a bit yesterday and could not get bit. Spent a lot of time out deep dragging a football jig and a Carolina rig, and had 3 bites, two Carolina rig bites and 1 football jig bite, and didn't catch any of those fish. My guess is they were little fish, or they were maybe Kentuckies that just didn't commit to eating it. I know some fish were getting caught up around the edge of the grass on a football jig. I know the jerkbait bite's still working, and I know the trap bite's still working. I'm sure the deep bite's still working as well. Today would have been really interesting to see what would have got caught. And there are now some fish moved up on top of the grass. I have not heard of anything over 2 pounds getting caught that way, but I know a lot of fish are getting caught up over the grass, over little points and stuff. So that's working. I knew I could catch some fish doing that. I really was trying to focus on finding some deeper fish, but I couldn't get bit on that DT, so I picked up kind of an old favorite crankbait of mine, a little Bandit 200 crankbait, and went to sort of walking it around the edge of the grass, and was able to catch this one little fish right here. Thing I was doing the other day with that DT, just rolling it along the edge of the grass out there. It's just a keeper, but better than what else I've done today. Just a solid keeper. Little Bandit crankbait. But that was really it, and I do think I made an equipment decision there that's not right, and that is I was throwing it on too light of a rod. And the reason I say that is I couldn't feel it as good as I could on a heavier rod. So I want to share with you an equipment thought. So a lot of you guys know I team fish with Dickie Newberry. And by the way, one of the ideas somebody came with me today with was to do some interviews with some of the guys that I've become friends with. I'm friends with some of the best, if not most all of the best fishermen on Rayburn and Toledo, and frankly they're as good a fisherman as there is in the country, in my humble opinion. And I want to start doing some interviews on sort of technique specific, what guys are really, really good at. And most of these guys are if they're competitive regularly, they're good at a lot of stuff. But most of us have sort of a preferred way of fishing, and when the fish come to our style of fishing, deep worm bite, it's going to be Clayton Bouware or Albert Collins. They're going to catch them that way. Trap bite, when McCall's down here, Dickey's going to be really good with a trap. Deep fish, football jig, you're going to look at a guy like Chris Wilson or Matsubu, or we've all got our techniques that we'll all be versatile, but when they come to our technique, and gosh, I ignored Brian Shook and Danny Weems when they're on that deep bite. Those guys are awesome. So but one of the things I fish with Dickey, and one of the things that Dickey taught me really early on in my fishing is on that trap fishing. And the key to it, in my opinion, after fishing with him, is he throws a heavy rod. What most people would say is too heavy a rod for a trap rod. And the reason for that is, number one, you want to feel it. You want to feel that. You don't want a lot of give in that rod. You want to feel that trap clipping that grass when it catches that grass, so you can pop it. And the other thing is popping it. So if you have a light action rod, a crankbait style rod, or even the rod that Luz calls a rattle trap rod, that rod probably works really well for a rattle trap a lot of ways, but around the grass, in my opinion, it's a little bit too light, because what happens is it loads, and when you finally get that trap to turn loose, you rip it 3, 5, 10 feet. I don't know how far. I mean, it's at least 3 feet. It's the way that trap comes out of that. If you use a heavier rod, when you pop it, you get that pop reaction. It just pops a little short ways, and then it flutters, and that's when that fish will eat it. And I think a lot of times those fish run up there, they're following that bait, or they're in that grass, and when that bait hangs in that grass and you pop it that short distance, they'll dart 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet to get that bait, or 2 feet, but they're not going to go this far to get a bait when you do that big long thing. And I don't think it's as clean a pop. You don't get that real quick that you do when you pop it with a heavier rod. So I have really settled on 2 rods. This is one of those rods. So this is a 7'3". It's a medium heavy rod. It says on here footballs and swim jigs. It's an LCL MJR rod, 7'3" rod. I love that rod. That's kind of my 3/4 ounce trap rod, even though there's a 1/2 ounce on there. This little rod, now they make this rod in several of the models. This is a little mock rod. This is an incredibly good price point rod. It's called a Carolina rig rod, and it is the MHCRR. It's a 7.6. It's a little longer rod. That is my favorite rod for trap fishing. I think there's 6 or 7 of them in here. It's a great all-around rod. I've got it in the mock rod and a couple of other rods as well. But that's, for me, that's the right rod. It's heavy enough I can pop that bait out of there, but it's light enough that I don't take it away from fish, and it's also heavy enough I can pull a fish when I need to. You want some play in that rod. You don't want to use a pool stick, but you want to be able at a distance, because I'm throwing a trap as far as I can throw it, which I've measured is 60 or 70 yards. I want to be able, with that Seaguar fluorocarbon rod, to get some hook in that fish at a long distance. That's why we're so much more effective with traps these days. The rods, and of course the line too. We're not throwing mono anymore. I had somebody ask me in a comment about throwing traps on braid. And I'll tell you, when braid first came out, we did that. But there's just a lot of problems with braid. Burying itself when you set a hook. You'll sling a few traps off, it gets in the eyes. I've really moved completely away from that. I only really flip with braid anymore, and maybe I do throw a frog with it. Otherwise, I'm on fluorocarbon all the time. So that's my tips this week, but I'm going to get specific. Dickey's actually, we've written an article together, or I've written an article interviewing him. I'll get in front of him. I hope to do that soon, and get a little bit more in depth on some of his thoughts, which are really interesting on equipment specifically and how he fishes a trap. I'll get that in here. I've got a couple other guys I'm going to talk to about doing some technique specific stuff that I think you'll enjoy as well. So I think I could have caught some fish today. I don't think I would have won, but I think I'd have been competitive. The fish are trying to come up a little bit. They're going to continue to do so. We got a bunch of rain here. I haven't looked at my rain gauge, but I'm guessing we got a couple inches of rain through the morning. I know that we were floating around in the ramp down there by the dam, and that pocket's already muddied up. So I'm sure the drains have muddied up in a lot of places anywhere there's running water. And so it's going to be hard to catch fish out of those drains, even though this was a pretty warm rain. I mean, it was in the low 60s this morning, so it's probably warmed the water up a little bit, but it's also muddied it up a little bit. So again, as I've talked about in the past, a little bit of rise in water would really help the over the grass bite quite a bit. So I think the bite should continue to get better. I know a lot of guys didn't have great practices yesterday. A lot of guys are catching, or most of us are catching a lot of small fish, but not a lot of the better fish. But they're right there. They're going to show up really soon. So I think you'll see, you know, we're always going to have guys like Danny and, you know, Harold Allen last weekend catching all those giant stringers, but you're going to start seeing us shallow guys start having some bigger stringers too real soon. So that's my report for the week. If I think of something else, I'll pop back on here and add it. But I think the rain's finally stopped. When I come across the bridge at 12, or come across the dam at 12:30, it was still real fogged in. You can probably fish out there now, but I'm headed to Dallas and going to go skiing tomorrow. And I don't think I'm coming back to the lake next weekend, so I may skip a week with reports. But if I get something to report in the meantime, I'll give you guys an update from the Dallas Ken Smith Fishing World Headquarters annex up there. So until get another report up, enjoy it. Oh, one other thing I want to mention to you guys. I'm real curious if there's comments on this. So I told y'all, or maybe I didn't, I had a battery go down on me yesterday. And I'm not going to mention the name of the battery, although I'm real frustrated with it, but it's a gel battery. It's one of those $300+ gel batteries. And I was running it with 2 liquid cell and 1 gel battery. And I don't think, I charged it, I went last night and just bought a new liquid cell battery. I'm probably getting the name wrong there. But I don't think my gel battery was charging properly. So I'd be real curious to hear everybody's comments, or if there's a battery expert out there. That battery seemed to take a charge last night, but boy, at 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, I had no batteries. And when I put an amp meter on, I had 11, 11, and 7 on the gel battery. And not too long ago, I carried it back to the guys, and they load tested it, and they say the battery is good, but it's not. And I'm wondering if it's a battery charger issue as much as it's a battery issue. So I'm running the Ranger Professional Series Quad Pro. So it's just the charger that came in the boat. It's called a Quad Pro. I'm wondering if anybody has some thoughts on that. I'd appreciate it if you'd add comments down here in my below my video, just so we can again, we can all learn a little bit of something. You know, that's the fun of doing this, is we're all learning stuff and sharing stuff, and I appreciate it. So any comments, anybody knows anything about batteries, I'd be real curious. Now, I'm all liquid cell now. I don't know what I'm going to do with this gel battery. It seems to have taken a charge, but I'm going to take it back and let them load test it again. And if they won't swap me out for another battery, I'm probably going to get a little ugly about it. But I paid $340 for the battery. It should take a charge. So anyway, that was a rant. Sorry about that. So excuse me. Until I get another report up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are safe on the water and catch some fish, and enjoy getting your feedback. Again, Ken Smith Fishing @outlook.com is my email address. On Facebook, Ken Smith Fishing, and obviously my website, www.kensmithfishing.com. I post my blogs up there every week or two when I get them up there, and appreciate all the feedback, all the good wishes, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.